The turn coordinator is a gyroscopic instrument. Unlike other gyroscopic instruments, it is electrically powered and thus independent of the vacuum system. Below it is the slip indicator, also known as an inclinometer, which is a marble in a curved tube of liquid. The term "step on the ball" is used in reference to the inclinometer when pedal input is needed to coordinate your flight. The turn coordinator works on the principle of precession. Since a gyroscope is a rotating body, by measuring the change in its rotational axis during banking or yawing, a rate of turn can be calculated. The second hash mark denotes a standard rate turn, which is approximately 3 degrees per second or 360 degrees per 2 minutes. Let's see what it tells us during a turn. The turn coordinator indicates a turn, and the inclinometer shows a direction of yaw. In this example, when the plane turns to the left, the ball travels to the left. To generalize, the ball always moves to the inside of the turn, like the tail. This condition is called a slip. The inclinometer is an indication of turn coordination and shows in which direction the airplane is yawing. The turn coordinator drops to the second hash mark, denoting a standard rate turn of 3 degrees per second. This part of the instrument only tells you when you are banking and by how much your heading is changing. It is responsive and most useful in IFR conditions when determining how long to make a turn. Step on the ball to coordinate the turn, but use excessive input and the tail slides to the outside of the turn and creates the conditions of a skid. When aileron and rudder inputs are proportionate, the inclinometer will reflect this with a centered ball. Here is an example of a coordinated turn. The longitudinal axis stays fixed on the horizon, heading begins to change, and the plane is streamlined throughout the turn. It is important to note rolling out of the turn requires opposite rudder. The reason is why turns need rudder at all. The term is adverse yaw. When the plane begins to bank for a turn, the wing on the outside of the turn rises more quickly than the wing on the inside drops. There is subsequent induced drag for the increase in lift because drag is a byproduct of lift. During the beginning or end of a turn, without pedal input, the vertical or yawing axis initially rotates opposite the direction of the bank. One can feel it in their seat or see it on the horizon. Without opposite rudder in the rollout, the turn will look like this. When banking the aircraft, the goal is to keep gravity centered so that there are no forces left or right, just a net force pushing you down into your seat. Without rudder inputs, the inclinometer readings are erratic. This is what it looks like when there are 0 rudder compensations for aileron movements. Begin to tune yourself to the minute indications of poor turn coordination. Your gauges, what you can see, and what you can feel are 3 excellent ways to judge coordination.